I've been thinking about making this video for a while now, and I finally realized that people who do the research and don't approach this topic with an ulterior motive need to speak up and put the truth out there. Not their truth, the truth. So I want to begin this by saying I want this to be perfectly clear. This video is not about diminishing or trying to disprove that police brutality exists. Anyone with an ounce of common sense knows that police are humans and they use force, sometimes excessively so.
Several of the 2,000 or so fans booed the players. Dallas defender Reggie Cannon, who also plays for the U.S. national team, was furious when asked about the booing after the game.
Ryan Hollington, the first thing he said to me after we got up off the knee, he said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry for our fans." Because we had someone chanting USA when they don't understand what kneeling means. They don't understand why we're kneeling. They can't see the reason.
No, we understand. Colin made that perfectly clear in this interview. And then there's, of course, this. I don't even know. Just read it. In response to that last screenshot, I want to know what law there is on the books that makes it legally acceptable for a white person to kill a black person simply because they're black. This is the kind of false narrative that people put out that they know is a lie. White people just can't go around killing black people simply because they're black. That is the most absurd thing I've ever read. Ever. Some of us who boo and don't support kneeling during the anthem know and fully understand what kneeling means and why you're doing it. We just don't agree with the leftist media narrative that black people are oppressed and that America is systemically racist. Nor do we agree that police are actively hunting or targeting black people in order to brutalize and or kill them. Simply put, we disagree that the police killing black people is a pathologically widespread phenomenon. And the data actually backs up what we believe, not what you believe. And here are just some of the statistics that prove why we disagree with the kneeling. Here is the percentages for claims of police abuse. And here is some different stats from the police public contact survey that deals with traffic stops, stops on the street, both initiated by police, and it also deals with people who call the police, so they initiate contact. And these are the statistics that show police percentages on police behavior during those interactions. So I'm going to start off with traffic stop. Well, one of the things that you don't hear is that black people are let go at a higher percentage with no action taken than any other demographic. So even though they may be pulled over more, they are literally let go with no action taken at a higher percentage as well. Now, that was traffic stop. So people are like, well, what about stop and frisk and, when cops stop people on the streets and do stuff like that? The statistics still prove out that the majority of interactions between blacks and cops, the cops behave appropriately. Now, what I did find funny about that statistic was when the cops say that the person they're interacting with matches the description of a suspect, their behavior gets rated really low. But if the cops say that someone they were with matched the suspect, all of a sudden the cop's behavior was just fine. It's amazing that when it's not aimed at you, the cop behaved appropriately. But when it's aimed at one of your friends, eh. So, did the cop's behavior really change? Or was it just the perception that you were the one that matched the suspect that made the cop's behavior seem not appropriate? So, what about people that call the cops? Something happens in their neighborhood or in their house, and they call the cops to have the police come out to resolve the situation. What is the cops' behavior at that time? And here's my question. When you see the statistics, I want you to ask yourself, if the cops were hunting or targeting black people simply because they're black and they were no repercussions, or they were just given paid leave to kill black people, as Colin Kaepernick suggested, then why would people give them a high rating and say that they would call the police back in the future? That doesn't seem to fit the narrative now, does it?
They just think we're the ignorant ones.
It's not that we believe you're ignorant or stupid. We know that you're being lied to. The media and the Democrat Party is exactly the type of people Booker T. Washington was talking about. Nothing makes this more clear than where the donations to Black Lives Matter end up. That money isn't going to help the black community. And the majority of cop interactions with black people shows that police brutality doesn't happen on a widespread scale. I want to point out some other things from other studies. In 2016, 4 studies were done. 4. And they all showed that this is a false narrative. And they showed that when cops use excessive force, race isn't the deciding factor. It's just not.
And it's incredibly frustrating. I'm sorry to have this tone, but you have to call it for what it is.
Yeah, I call it misinformation from a corrupt media to garner votes for the Democrat Party. You call it something else because you don't bother doing the research for yourself and just take them for their word.
I even knew when we decided to kneel, I knew it was going to happen. I had a feeling that should tell you guys something, that I knew we were gonna have some negative pushback from having a unified response over what's going on.
And yet you still decided to alienate part of your fan base. Way to go.
That's the problem. That's a problem.
No, the problem is you and other athletes kneeling during the anthem based on a false narrative from a media exacerbated narrative of oppression and police brutality.
And it hurts me because I love our fans. I love this club. And I want to see the support that the league has given us, that everyone has given us from our fans.
The reason I made this video is to shed light on the narrative spun by the left-leaning media and Democrats that disproportionality amongst races automatically equates to systemic racism in order to spur support for Democrats every election cycle. When people, especially the media, tells you that black people are disproportionately suffering and that racism must be the sole and only explanation for the discrepancy, then you're being lied to. I'm not trying to take away from what black people go through. I know racism exists. If one group is going to suffer from racist individuals, it's going to be the minorities. But the idea that America is systemically racist, or that even racist individuals are the majority of the country, is just false. It's just a lie. And that is what makes me upset about people kneeling for the anthem. They have the right to speak their mind. They have the right to free speech. But you should at least know when you are using your free speech, your right to free speech, that what you're saying is truthful and honest. I hope this video helps. I really do. I hope it helps. If you know somebody that talks about this and they believe that black people are being targeted by police, share this video with them. The information is out there. You just have to know where to find it. I want to see America unified again. That's what I want. And I want to see equality of opportunity. I want everybody to have the equal opportunity to be a success in America. I don't believe in equal outcome. I believe in equal opportunity. And that goes for any race. Love y'all.